am a Filipino by Carlos P. Romulo. I am a Filipino inheritor of a glorious past, hostage to the uncertain future. As such, I must prove equal to a twofold task: the task of meeting my responsibility to the past and the task of performing my obligation to the future. I sprung from a hardy race, a child many generations removed of ancient Malayan pioneers. Across the centuries, the memory comes rushing back to me, of brown-skinned men putting out to sea in ships that were as frail as their hearts were stout. Over the sea I sit and calm, borne upon the bellowing wave and the whistling wind, carried upon the mighty swell of hope, in the free abundance of new land that was to be their home and their children's forever. This is the land they sought and found, every inch of shore that your eyes first set upon, every hill and mountain that beckoned to them with a green and purple invitation, every mile of rolling plain of view encompassed, every river and lake that promised a plentiful living, the fruitfulness of commerce, is Howard's path to me. By the strength of their heart and hands, by every right of law, human and divine, this land and all the appurtenances thereof the black and fertile soil, the seas and lakes and rivers teeming with fish, the forests with inexhaustible wealth in wildlife and timber, the mountains with the boughs swollen with minerals, the whole of the rich and happy land has been, for centuries without number, the land of my fathers. This land I receive in trust from them, and in trust will pass to my children, and so on until the world is no more. I am Filipino. In my blood runs the immortal seed of heroisy that flowered down the centuries in deeds of courage and defiance. In my veins yet pulses the same hot blood that sent Lapu-Lapu to battle against the first invader of his land, that nerve like Kandula in the combat against the alien foe, that drove Jaygasuna and the Goy into rebellion against the foreign oppressor. That seed is immortal. It is the self-same seed that flowered in the heart of Rizal that morning in Bagumbayan, when a volley of shots put an end to all that was mortal of him and made his spirit deathless forever. The same that flowered in the heart of Bonifacio in Balintawak, of Gregorio del Pilar at Tirad Paz, of Antonio Luna at Kalumpit, that bloomed in flowers of frustration in the sad heart of Emilio Ginaldo at Palana, and yet burst forth really again in the proud heart of Manuel L. Quezon, when he stood at last at the threshold of ancient Malacañang Palace in the symbolic act of position and racial vindication. The seed I bear within me is an immortal seed. It is a mark of my manhood, the symbol of dignity as a human being, like the seeds that were once poured in the tomb of Tutankhamen many thousand years ago. It shall grow and flower and bear fruit again. It is the insignia of my race, and my generation is but a stage of unending search of my people for freedom and happiness. I am a Filipino, child of the marriage of the East and the West. The East, with its languor and mysticism, its passivity and endurance, was my mother, and my sire was the West that came thundering across the seas with the cross and sword in the machine. I am of the East, an eager participant in its spirit, and its struggle for abolition of the imperialist yoke. But I also know that the East must awake from its centuries of sleep, shake off the lethargy that has bound its limbs, and start moving where destiny awaits. For I, too, am of the West, and the vigorous peoples of the West have destroyed forever the peace and quiet that once were ours. I can no longer live, a being apart from those whose world now trembles to the roars of bombs and cannon shots. I can't say, for matter of universal life and death, of freedom and slavery for all mankind, that is concerned me not, for no man and no nation is an island, but part of the main There is no longer any east and west, only individuals and nation making those momentous choices. Where are the hangings once where history resolves? At the vanguard of progress in this part of the world, I stand a fallen figure in the eyes of some, but not one defeated and lost. For through the thick and racing branches of habit and custom above me, I have seen the light of the sun, and I know that it is good. I have seen the light of justice and equality of freedom. My heart has been lifted by a vision of democracy, and I shall not rest until my land and my people should have been blessed by this, beyond the power of any man or nation to subvert or destroy. I am a Filipino, and this is my inheritance. What pledge shall I give that I may prove worthy of my inheritance? I shall give the pledge that has come raining down the corridors of the centuries, and it shall be compounded of joyous cries of my Malayan forebears when first they saw the contours of the land loom before their eyes, of the battle cries that have resounded in every field that combat from Mactan to Tirad Pass, of the voices of my people in the scene. Out of the lush green of the 7,000 isles, out of the heartstring of 16 million people all vibrating to one song, I shall wave the mighty fabric of my pledge. Out of the song of the farmers at sunrise when they go to labor in the fields, out of the sweats of the heart-beating pioneers in Malaig and Coronadal, out of the silent endurance of stevedores and the peers of ominous grumblings of peasants in Pampanga, out of the first cries of babies newly born and the lullabies of mothers sing, out of the crushing of gears and whine of turbines in the factories, out of the crunch of plowshares turning the earth, out of the limitless patience of teachers in the classrooms and doctors in the clinics, out of the tramp of soldiers marching, I shall make the pattern of my pledge. I am a Filipino born to freedom, and I shall not rest until freedom shall have been added into my inheritance for myself and my children and my children's children forever.